Hey everyone,
Hey folks,
I'm Will,
and I'm John.
and this is
You Asked For It.
And this is the third debate
That's right.
in a series of three,
And they're getting trashier.
and they're getting trashier.
Yeah.
But we promise that that will be over soon.
Yep. We're going to talk about the real issues in fly fishing today.
Absolutely. We're not going to skirt around them. We're going right for the real issues at hand.
I'm going to stick to the teleprompter.
Stick to the teleprompter. Don't wander, John.
I won't, I promise.
So we're going to hop right in. John did a great video last week, I think, of when to use Scandi or Skagits, which was really cool. Actually, Rio shared it on their Facebook page, so must have been pretty good.
Well, great.
So user writes in and says, good presentation today. What do you think of the hybrid airflow rage line? And so that's a great topic.
What do I think, or what do you think?
Well, sure. I think you can start. What do you think?
I did respond to Mr. Coons, and
Perfect.
I said, yeah, it is a hybrid. It's right in between as far as length and taper. And that's what it falls right in the middle. So you can push the limits of the sink tip. You can push the size of the fly a little bit. It'll punch through the wind a little better than a regular Scandi. So it's a great middle of the road line with a lot of versatility.
It is a great middle of the road line. It is a great hybrid line. One of the things I like about it is that, and I think part of the design is that you can stick with your Skagit style casts with a Scandi-esque taper. So you can do, snap tees, circle spays, double spays, realistically with the line, and it'll handle it. Whereas some of the longer Scandis, they really struggle to do those Skagit style casts. I see that all the time at Third Sunday's Bay. People trying to Skagit cast with a typical longer length Scandi head. It's pretty rough out there. But yeah.
Great.
Well, I did want to say one last thing on that. So we do see a lot of hybrid lines out there beyond just your typical Skagit and Scandi line. Other ones that come to mind are the sinking Skagits that have sinking within the actual head, and that would be the Airflow Fist line, which has different sinking densities within the head. Also, the Skagit I-Flight.
Rio I-Flight.
Which has front 2/3 of the Skagit is an intermediate, great hybrid type head. And then we have one of our favorites, the Scandi Body, which is a very short, compact 23-foot head from Rio, Scandi head. Awesome on switch rods, awesome on micro space. That's another little hybrid line. So there's a few little hybrid lines for you.
Yes, yeah. Love the Scandi bodies on the little switches, trout spays. But digressing back to the integrated Skagits, like the Fist or the I-Flight, the beauty of those is that intermediate or type 3 section really cuts through the surface tension and really gets down and slows down the swing. So
couldn't have said it better myself.
Beautiful. We had another comment from our when to use Skagit. See, I blended them. I hybridized Scandi Skagit.
You did? No, well done.
When to use Scandi or Skagit video from a gentleman. And his response was to the video, he says, this is pretty general. There are triple density Scandi lines that get down deep for winter steelhead, muting the point of needing a heavy sink tip. Casting bigger flies is more technique than line, he says. Skagit lines, for the most part, are band-aids for poor casting skills. Plenty of mid-belly and long-belly line guys throwing sink tips and heavy flies out there. Just takes practice.
Yeah, this is we get a few of these. We get a few of these comments like this, and we're always happy to oblige. Thoughts, John?
Look, I could go on and on about this topic. But I would say that I think of rods and lines as tools for specific jobs. The Skagit line is made for casting sink tips, turning over big flies. Just the physics of it. Long lines don't have the mass out front to turn over sink tips and bigger flies as effectively. So I see a lot of long line guys where their line just doesn't turn over. And it's so far out there because they're long. Maybe the angler can't even see that it doesn't turn over. But that's me being kind of smart. But yeah, they're tools for different jobs. And it does take a lot of skill to pick up a long line and turn over a big sink tip and fly, no doubt. But I would be careful saying they're Band-Aids for poor casting skills. The Skagit line does require skill. It's easier because it's shorter, but it's also helped a lot of people get into the sport. And especially the rivers we fish, we're backed up against the banks, tight quarters, and you can't fish long lines on most rivers around here.
Yeah, well said. I agree. I think it's, using the right tool for the job for sure. And, another wonderful thing about the Skagit line, we do a free casting clinic every Sunday, every third Sunday on the Rogue River, third Sunday Spay. And it's been quite popular. And it's really, the ease of casting that line has certainly gotten a lot of people into it that I think never would have really given it a second thought. And so we see a lot of people kind of expanding their knowledge of fishing, fly fishing, and casting. And we really purport to just, especially myself, is just getting people fishing and getting people going and having fun and getting flies in front of fish. And that's, kind of what I'm all about at the end of the day, and what I think Ashland Fly Shop's all about. So pontificating there, but I think we've touched on that.
Yeah, the Skagit line's a get her done line.
Get her done
and
line.
We need to get it done. Use the right tool for the job.
You got it.
All right.
Sweet. Moving on.
Will did a great video, fall steelhead tactics, I think a couple weeks ago. So C Sismo 831 writes in, any good slots near Rogue River? Now we think he means the town of Rogue River. He's fished the lower river a bunch, but he's up in that area more. So town of Rogue River, there's a Depot Street Bridge there, right in Rogue River. There's good water under that bridge, and you can pop in there where the old Savage Rapids Dam was. Other than that, you need a boat or private access, or you could pop in there and Valley the Rogue. So that's kind of that Rogue River area. Those are your main access points.
I thought he was talking about casinos, and so I would just suggest Seven Feathers, but that's a little further out of the region.
Yeah.
As far as slots are concerned.
Yeah, well...
I think I missed the point on that one, though.
You did. I did. But you were...
I was just trying to be specific.
Yeah, I don't know if the odds are better trying to catch steelhead or make some money in the slot machine.
Oh, jeez. Okay, moving on. Fishing the Reddington Trout Spay video. We got a couple cool comments there. Here's a guy, 216, says, living in Texas, I only get to use my spay and switch rods when I visit Oregon. So I'm pretty pumped about this trout spay that I can actually use down here. If I purchase a Reddington 3-weight, what would be an appropriate reel to use with this rod? And this comes up a bit. And it kind of dovetails into the next question, but still we're kind of using that rule of a size up, as far as like if you have a 7-weight spay, standard 7-weight spay, which is anywhere from 12 to 13.5 feet long, you're probably going to be looking at a 9-10 size reel, 4¼ inch reel in diameter, or possibly 4-inch. Now there's definitely some blurring of the lines there, but you're probably looking at for these trout spays, a 7/8 weight reel at 3 3/4 inches is probably right on. I like big reels, so I typically, if I can use a 4-inch reel, I certainly will. I don't mind the size too much, but the trout spays, that can get a little funny because some of them are a bit heavy. I think it's a nice lightweight outfit. It's a nice lightweight rod. I'd like to keep that line or keep that reel light. So we have a couple of examples here. The Reddington Rise 7/8. It's over 3 3/4 inches, but it's extremely light. You're going to fit a lot of the microspay lines on there. The Ross Cimarron 2 7/8. A lot of capacity there. You could put that on a whole host of them. The Able switch reel, plenty of space for lots and lots of lines. Every micro space from 2 through 5 weight would be no problem. So I would say, as a general rule, a 3 3/4 inch diameter. Most 7/8 are that way. Is probably right on for size.
And he's referring to the 11-foot 3-weight Redington trout spay.
Yeah, which is a good size.
But
there.
these would work. That size of reel would work on really any of the trout spays.
I'd say
3, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Christopher Pepe. I'm dying to see the 2-weight. He's referring to the Redington trout spay, hydrogen trout spay. It's what I want, but I can't help the feeling I'll regret not getting the 3-weight.
My thoughts are just, probably get the 3, because these rods are super light, and if you got to really want the 2s, I think you really got to know it and want it, because it's going to be a very light, nichey rod. So the 3-weight, the 4-weight, we sell mostly because they just have more versatility. You know, you're talking about casting a little bit bigger flies. You're talking about just expanding the range of that rod. And when you get a new rod, you just want to use it. You just want to be able to use it at as much opportunity as you can.
Yeah, you want to be able to expand the type of fishing you can do. If you want to streamer fish with it or cast bigger dries, a 2-weight might not be what you want.
Yeah, and the way the trout spays are made, they really have a lot more flex than the typical switch rods that we've seen. So if you get a 2-weight 10-foot switch, it'll be a very full flexing rod. So you want to keep that in mind too. So that's just kind of the way those rods are designed, which is really cool.
Well, I think that wraps it up.
I think that wraps it up, man. I think we really got to it today. I think we really got to the meat of those questions. Like, just got right in there.
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll try to do better next time. Don't forget, you asked for it.
That's right.
That was your cue.